Well, hi, welcome to the February edition of Cornerstone Presents. Welcome to Kiev, Ukraine. Wow, can you believe that this is Ukraine right now? It's hard for me to believe, and I'm used to coming to this very beautiful city. But right now, they're in the midst of demonstrations. Anyway, I wanted to show you all that was going on in Myanmar this last month. Here's a short report.
What a contrast between Kiev and Myanmar, where everything is much more peaceful. This was my first time to come to Myanmar to do a production. We wasted no time and went right into auditions. I had met a young man named Freddie Lin who had experience in the arts and had brought many talented actors. We cast the show and we began rehearsals. Myanmar is a beautiful country with some beautiful traditions. I was busy with the production and we had frequent meetings with the production staff. Whenever I had time, I would go sightseeing. Myanmar is filled with culturally rich experiences, even if the people are poor. And Yangon is busy with people everywhere selling everything imaginable. We would be performing in the beautiful Myanmar National Theater. Sets were being built by extremely talented Soe Nanda, and the props were being artistically created by Erica. On one side, Myanmar is beautiful, but on the other side, there are desperately poor people living in sad situations. Especially sad were the children living in dire poverty. Rehearsals continued and I worked with the ballet dancers from the show. I also staged the numbers with my eager actors who were happy to act but who were very undisciplined. I had a dear friend come and visit, David Cho from South Korea, who's also our producer for our shows there. It was so good to see him. It was finally time to move into the theater and David helped. We got shocking news, however, from the producer. He was canceling the show the day before we opened. He told us not to go to the National Theater as we would be turned away. My head was spinning. How could I tell the entire cast and crew who've been working for the last 5 weeks daily that the show was now canceled? I was heartbroken. However, as I prayed, the Lord told me to go on. So I went to the National Theater anyway and spoke with the theater director. He was gracious and allowed us to do the show. Praise the Lord. The show was back on. A wonderful lady named Rebecca John had sold tickets, so we had money from her work, plus Polone, one of my actors and dear assistant and friend, had gotten some funds for the show, and even David Cho gave a generous gift to help us pay for the theater. The producer had done nothing. After praying, I decided to let Cornerstone pay for the remaining balance. It would hurt us financially, but I just couldn't let the show end because of one man's lack of faith. It was finally opening night. We prayed and we opened 2 from Galilee. The show was beautiful. Scene after scene, the actors outdid themselves. We had beautiful costumes, talented actors, wonderful sets and props, and most of all, a wonderful audience who had never seen a show like this. They loved it, and best of all, they received the message of Jesus' love for them. After the show, we took our traditional cast and crew pictures. The show was a blessing, and even one of the television stations broadcast it across all of Myanmar as a special cultural event. Wow! I'm so grateful to so many in Myanmar, but especially Tongpu, the technical director, Soenanda, who built all the beautiful sets, Erica Lin, who did all the beautiful props, Polone, my wonderful friend and assistant, and Freddie Lin, who was my assistant director. What a team. Without them, there would not be a show. I packed the next day and flew on to Poland and then to Kiev, Ukraine.
Well, as you can see, we had a tremendous time there in Yangon, Myanmar, and all the people that lives were touched because of what happened there. It was an amazing time, and I ask you to keep continuing to pray for the people of Myanmar. They're precious. But right now, I'm here in Kiev, Ukraine, preparing for a new production for next year. But wow, it just breaks my heart to see all these barricades up here. You know, it's really a very peaceful people here in Ukraine. So I ask you to keep your prayers up for this wonderful people of God, and that there will be a peaceful resolution to all that they're going through right now. Well, that wraps up this one's edition of Cornerstone Presents for the month of February. For more information, you can go to cornerstonearts.com. There you can find lots of other wonderful information. Well, that's it. For Cornerstone Presents, I'm Richard Montez.